Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. Reaction to Joe Joyce's win over Daniel Dubois has been swift on social media from boxers and pundits alike, and where we'll start first is Joe Joyce, the man himself who stopped Daniel Dubois in the 10th round of their fight. So he says on social media, "Respect to @Dynamite Dubois, he will come again. Tonight is my night. Hashtag the Juggernaut." So a classy response from Joe Joyce. And if you did see the post-fight interview, he didn't sort of talk too much trash. He did sort of say he would like to fight Alexander Usyk. And Warren, actually, he would like the rematch with Dubois. Whereas Joyce, he says he would like to fight Alexander Usyk. Usyk and Joyce did meet in the amateurs. And that was a fight in which Joyce, he was quite raw and basically a novice at the time, was picked apart by Alexander Usyk. But overall, Joe Joyce, classy response, and Daniel Dubois apparently has broken an orbital bone, so I guess we'll have to wait for some updates on his condition. But in terms of this next one, Tyson Fury, the WBC champion, paying tribute to Joe Joyce, and this writing here is quite small. Massive congratulations to my bro, Joe Joyce Boxing. Brilliant performance, great boxing display. And then he says boxing is a heart sport. Peter Fury, Tyson Fury's uncle, he says, "Remember, this is all said and done. It's only a fight. Two men giving their all, and they need max respect for getting it on. They're both winners." Moving on to Tony Yoka, a rival from the amateurs, and obviously Tony Yoka won gold over Joe Joyce at Rio 2016, a somewhat controversial result, many believing Joyce had done enough to win the gold. So he is calling for a rematch with Joe Joyce, and he was calling for this ahead of this fight too. He said he did want to face the likes of Derek Chisora and Joe Joyce in 2021, and that was regardless of the result of this Dubois and Joyce fight. So they do have history. He says, "Okay, Joe Joyce boxing, let's make the Olympic rematch now. I know you want it, and I know everybody want it." And apparently Yoka has sustained a hand injury from his most recent fight, which was a day before Joyce and Dubois. He fought Christian Hammer, and it was taken to a decision. He got the win in that one, apparently injured one of his hands in that one. Sam Jones, though, he doesn't want people to be sort of crucifying Daniel Dubois, saying, "What I don't want is people crucifying a young man who put it all on the line tonight. Daniel Dubois is a champ and will be back. But this is the Juggernaut's time." Boxing trainer Adam Booth, he's not too happy with some of the commentary and the display from BT Boxing, saying BT Sport Boxing disrespected Joe Joyce in that post-fight interview by talking primarily about Dubois. And I guess it's not for the first time that BT has been called out when Joyce has been in post-fight interviews. There have been a couple in the past where it has sort of seemed where Joyce hasn't really got the sort of credit or plaudits after a fight that he's won, and it's sort of been made about other fighters. So it doesn't surprise me that someone has come out and said that. Okay, so moving on to Nathan Gorman. So he says on Twitter, "Great fight. Daniel will come again. Congratulations, Joe Joyce Boxing and Mr. Sam Jones. Fantastic result." But he did have a little bit of a pot shot for Daniel Dubois. Well, he says it's not, but some people will take it to be. Someone had tweeted at him, "Inexperience," and Nathan Gorman replied, "Inexperience or not, mate, you can't train hard." And that's one of the things that has come out of this fight. Some people believe that Daniel Dubois quit. He could have fought on, but decided he didn't want to. He didn't answer the count when it was administered. He did take a knee after a jab finally closed his eye in the 10th round. And of that situation, so you can see here on screen, Michael Benson having a summary of David Haye and Carl Frampton, who were commentating on the fight. Haye saying, "I was very unhappy with the way he took a knee. I'd rather get knocked spark out." And Frampton, he said, "I think he quit. Have to be brutally honest. His eye was closed, but I'd get dragged out of the ring. I wouldn't take a knee." Another who's managed to drop in here with some choice words of his own is Dillon White. So I'm not going to show the clip that he posted to his Instagram story because I'll get copyrighted because they do show portions of the fight. But here is the audio from it.
Got nothing to say, man. That's all. I ain't got nothing to say. Man's out here quitting.
To see Joe
Man's out here quitting in mid-fight. Man's out here quitting mid-fight. And they want to call out the big dog. Saying they want to fight me and they want to knock me out. One two is me, no quit, straight warrior. If I'm losing, I'm getting knocked out. Straight warrior. Straight warrior. And these cowards want to mention fuck eyes and Daniel Dubois.
Dave Allen. He can also sympathise with Daniel Dubois, so he has had a longer post here, some of it reflecting on his own experience after the Price fight. Not going to go into the first part, but the second bit that's highlighted here. He's young in his career, and where he goes after tonight, I do not know. Questions and soul-searching will be done, but I hope people around him who care for him, because it's going to be a hard few months ahead. An American heavyweight prospect, Jared Anderson, who's undefeated and one of the up-and-coming heavyweights out of the United States, he's used the opportunity to take a jab at Daniel Dubois, saying, "This man just quit, but you'll think he can beat me? Shake my head, set it up," at Top Rank Boxing. And just rounding out this video, so there was some initial sort of stories floating around saying that Daniel Dubois had been up on the cards by something like 8 rounds on one of the judges' scorecards. Not quite accurate. Here are the tabulated scorecards, but Dubois was up on 2 of the 3 cards heading into that 10th round. One judge having Dubois on the right-hand side, John Latham, having him up by 5 rounds. So that's not really the fight that I saw. I had it pretty much even. It was a really close fight. I mean, there was a back and forth seesaw action. I think I had, heading into the 10th, I had Joyce up 5-4 on my card. Then you have 86-85 and 87-84, which I think, you can't sort of argue too much about those cards because there were some close rounds. So you turn 1 or 2 around, all of a sudden someone can be up 2 or 3 rounds, but having Dubois up 5 rounds, that's not really the fight that I saw. But I guess some of this is taste and fancy, and what do you like? Some people won't be too enamored that Joyce almost exclusively used the jab, but the reaction to Joyce's win, I guess in some ways, there was that flavour of commentary saying that BT was focusing too much on Dubois. Some of the reaction is almost like that as well. It's more about what Dubois was and wasn't able to do, as opposed to the effort that Joyce put in. And I think we do need to give him the credit for the game plan, executing it, and being able to thwart Daniel Dubois. He was able to offer up, something that Dubois wasn't able to adjust to and react to in a way to win himself enough rounds, or keep out of the way at least of that jab. So Joyce deserves a lot of credit. I think we have to remember that. Drop a comment, loud and often, hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.